This episode of Biters is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Biters. This is Diane. And?
This is not Marnell.
I thought you were going to leave me hanging there. I thought I was going to end up doing it all by myself.
No, I'm sure everyone's sick of me by now. This is Phil. This is actually my third episode for this season of Fear.
You are now the co-host of Last Resort. Marnell is no longer the co-host of Last Resort. You are.
I know.
It's a great place of honor.
I was looking at my notes. I did like this, I believe, the second episode this season, and then the 12th episode, and now this is the 15th.
You would actually think that we like travel or do exciting things for a living, and we really don't.
Well, at least you're on vacation. Isn't Marnell traveling for work or something?
She's traveling for work. She's in Oklahoma for work.
Marnell, don't let the boss put too many kilos of whatever in your butt.
God, I hope she listens to this before I talk to her again.
How was Phil? Oh, fine.
So we are doing, as you said, episode 15 of season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead, called I Lose People. So do you have a rating for it? I heard you rattling notes, and you said you have notes.
Yes, I have notes. I probably have to give this probably 3.75 falling bodies.
Oh, I actually liked it better than that.
I liked it for the most part, but there are a few little nitpicks I have that kind of brought it down a little bit.
Good, you'll keep us going, because
okay.
I gave it 4.5 out of 5 philosophical farts. I figured Jagoffs would be overrated, so...
Or the... how did she put the owl's letter? I don't think she didn't say C word. She was like...
She did the full quesadilla. She went for the
full quesadilla.
Yes, she
did the full quesadilla.
She's a funny actress. Did you watch Talking Dead?
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed her very much.
Yes, she is very funny.
So I've got to say, this is the first time in a long time that I was able to watch this the first time through, just watching it and not taking notes. And I think that probably is, in all honesty, part of the reason that my rating is higher. It was just such a pleasure to actually watch it all the way through and not be worried about taking notes for podcasting.
Oh, you actually watched this episode?
Right, I actually watched this episode instead of looking at my pen and my notebook and periodically looking up at the screen.
Well, this whole season overall, I think, has been better, because I remember previous seasons I'd be looking at my phone or something, and yeah, this season I'm pretty much glued to the screen.
Oh, I agree. This season has been way better.
Oh yeah, and I just wonder if there's a method to their madness where Walking Dead is starting immediately the week after the season finale next week.
Do you think that they're trying to ride off of this high? Is that what you're saying?
That, and do you think some of these cast members are going to be rolling up to the gates of Alexandria in the first episode?
Well, so that's what Marnell and I have been wondering is, where is the crossover going to happen? Because there's going to be a crossover again. There's got to be. So,
well, at least Morgan has to go back if no one else.
Right. And I've got to believe that he's taking some of the people from Fear with him.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe he's going to take the original people like Alicia and Strand.
And then leave the other people to create their new world.
Leave the new people, yeah.
I don't know. And I don't know if it's going to happen that early, but I think we're definitely going to see it. And I think we're going to see it in season 9 of the original series.
Well, it just depends too, because the regular series is it's doing a time jump too. So it's like, could they already be there? Could they? Is this where are they going to be caught up now? I don't know.
So I've actually got that in my little Whisperers Corner thing. I did just a quick look to see what there was out there as far as news. So I'm totally skipping ahead. I'm letting you completely derail me from the get-go.
Sorry, it is my fault.
But there was an article in Forbes, and they said that actually season 9 has multiple time jumps.
Oh.
Which I thought was really interesting. I mean, I know there's a big time jump at the beginning, but I wonder how much time we're going to actually lose, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They also said, let's see, that Andy Lincoln is probably going to come back and direct at least one episode. And then the article also said it confirms that Maggie will leave but not die. So they're leaving it open for her to come back and do more of a Maggie arc in season 10.
Huh. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if they're going to kill Andrew Lincoln off or if they're going to do something else so he can come back at any point if he wants. But again, it's like, well, if he doesn't die, where does he go?
Right. They're pretty heavily weighting it and hinting at the articles that I looked at that they're going to kill him, which I actually would really like a highly creative team of writers to find a different solution. But that's just me. And that's just me because every time I see a commercial for the Prime series right now, there's just a little bit of grief.
Well, I guess him and Maggie, they could take all of them. I think you mentioned it maybe, was it 2 episodes back, about the spoiler from the comics where Michonne went for a while.
Right. She went on that boat for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have not been caught up in the comic books for quite a while. I've got to do some more reading, but I know that she was gone for quite some time. They could potentially do that with these characters.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it just makes me wonder if they're going to get rid of Rick Grimes, what are they going to do with Michonne?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if she going to stay. Well, if he dies, is she going to be like Judith's primary caregiver then?
She's going to have to be.
Well,
Somebody's going to have to be. There's no Carl anymore, so...
No. Uncle Daryl.
Right, that's true. There is Uncle Daryl. And there's no Maggie. There's not going to be Maggie to parent her with little Herschel and little Gracie.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Unless Maggie takes all the kids with her wherever she's going.
There you go. Maybe Maggie is the one who's going out in the boat and she's just going to take the kids with her.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure cruise, and then that... They don't have to worry about babysitters every episode when somebody's attacking her.
Just a Walker Stalker cruise in the ZA.
Yes.
Well, so this episode actually got the highest ratings since August 12th. That was what they said on TV by the numbers. So it actually got good ratings. It was second for its time slot, or second for its slot in the week, second on Sunday night.
Well, you figure anyone who's even slightly interested, it probably comes back the week before the finale, just to dive back in. People probably check in at the beginning of the season, end of the season.
Especially if there's a thought that there is going to be some crossover between this and the main series, because obviously people are gearing up for the main series again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. The DVR numbers that I found were for the episode that aired on September 9th, and it was 7th in Live Plus 7 in the DVR ratings for that. So overall, it's still doing really well. I mean, it's not the juggernaut that the Prime series is by any stretch, but it's doing a lot better than it was doing.
No, but it didn't even mention that it's in the top 3 or 4 shows for AMC.
Yeah, Marnell has said a couple of times that they have 4 big shows. They've got Better Call Saul, Walking Dead, what's the
Fear,
other one?
and then Preacher.
Preacher, yeah. That actually, yeah, it's our Preacher cast where she often says it, because Preacher is usually rounding out that top 4.
I mean, I believe it. That's the only 4 shows I watch on that network.
I'm definitely not wasting my time on stuff like Into the Badlands or Humans. So,
no.
Although I do have to say that my curiosity has been piqued by Lodge 49. I just am not in the place where I can pick up another series.
Yeah, I mean, Into the Badlands just angered me from day one. I never... Well, no, it's always they want to get those numbers up, so they stick it between Walking Dead and Talking Dead.
Well, and they've done that a few times with Preacher, too, and it's no, just make it clean.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow it with talking, and then people will hang around for Preacher if they're really motivated to hang around for Preacher or Into the Badlands. Let those series stand on their own.
Yeah, I mean, in the age of DVRs, it's you really got to do that,
right?
I mean, unless they're just like, well, you know, a lot of people might not be too happy with Chris Hardwick. Let's slide him back a little bit.
Oh, you know,
I know.
Oh my gosh, today of all days, I have such tough feelings around what happened with Chris Hardwick, because Marnell and I definitely angered at least one fan when we were talking about our feelings about Chris Hardwick. So, and then on the heels of the events in Washington, D.C. today, that's tough.
I know, but I mean, the Chris Hardwick thing, he was never convicted of anything. It was only one person who said something, you know.
Well, and I do feel like it was investigated and he was cleared.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, it's not just that I feel that way. It's that there actually was an investigation and he was cleared and allowed to come back on air and allowed to resume his duties, allowed to resume his career.
Again, it's only one person. I mean, I always like try to keep an open mind if it's only like one accuser, but then once you start getting to like 2, 3 double digits, it's like, okay.
When there's a pattern, you have to start wondering.
Yes.
Yeah. God, I definitely hope that Chloe Dykstra has some peace wherever she is, but I'm really glad that Chris Hardwick is back.
I just think it was probably just a bad relationship on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we're probably treading deep in it again.
Yeah, I know.
Shit. Oops. And you're good. I'm going to have to edit that out because this is mine to edit. Ah! So our title is I Lose People. And so obviously that's a reference to Morgan saying I lose people and then I lose myself.
Which is the title of next episode.
Right. But he didn't actually lose people in this. I mean, unless you count Al and Jim. It's actually more redemptive. It's about people coming and saving him.
True.
So I'm just kind of wondering why they named it this. Was it because it was so opposite?
I don't know. Or it's just like a lot of this season has just been so Morgan-centric, or just like because everyone looked at him these last couple episodes, and it's like, you know, things seem to go a lot easier when Morgan detaches himself from people, even though it's not healthy.
You certainly aren't seeing people plunging off of the tops of hospitals when Morgan has lost himself.
You kind of saw that coming, like, because
there was that good little bit of foreshadowing.
Well, even in the beginning, and that, you know, when they do the different theme every episode, when they flash the title up and you just saw the car alarm going off, I'm like, oh, okay.
You know, I also thought that was a nice little callback to Glenn driving the Challenger in the first couple of episodes. I think it was episode 2.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yep.
Again, because what was it, last episode 2, they had a lot of those shout outs to the original series.
Yeah. And, you know, right back to stuff like Jimbo, the hospital, the rooftop. I mean, I even put in my notes again this week, boy, the rooftop still really feels like that rooftop from season 1. Yeah,
but at least no one had to cut their hand off.
Right. No, he just had to jump to his death instead.
He didn't have to, but I mean, he was dead anyway. So.
Right. It was totally a really worthwhile.
You knew it was coming when he didn't go with them, you know.
And, you know, I felt like they didn't just foreshadow it with the little opening, the little comic-y kind of opening, but when they showed him, like, out on the ledge pissing on the walkers, they were actually really foreshadowing what ultimately happens, because it looked like he was going to jump then. Yeah.
I mean, it's good for the story that, you know, he sacrifices himself in the end, kind of redeeming the character, but I always think it'd be interesting if, like, they ever took, like, a realistic take and just someone was just, like, selfish in death and like, no, I'm not going to help you. I'll just lay here and die and rot on this roof. And
That certainly does seem like a realistic choice for some people. It really does. And we haven't seen that.
Yeah, because I mean, not everybody you're going to run across is going to be self-sacrificing. I mean,
and even if you're dying, do you really have the wherewithal to take that big leap?
Oh, when you land, that at least those first couple seconds, you're going to be in pain.
Right. I mean, they say it's the fall that kills you, but that was not a very far fall.
No. Oh, you just gave me another nitpick I forgot about. Okay.
Well, so real quick, I'll just run through our writer and our director. So our writer was a woman named Kalinda Vasquez, and this is actually her second episode of Fear the Walking Dead. Her first one that she wrote was actually Week, which is the one that you and Marnell podcasted together.
Huh.
And she's got series credits for things like Once Upon a Time and Nikita. And interestingly, Once Upon a Time and Nikita seem to be kind of the things that are tying her and the director and the person that I chose to be our featured cast together. Because they've all kind of got those credits linked. So the director was a guy named David Barrett, and this is his first and thus far only effort in the Walking Dead universe. He had a golden ticket. He was Paul Newman's godson.
No.
So, that's nothing to sneeze at. I'm sure that was a little helpful in terms of establishing his career.
I'm sure.
And he's got some director credits that are pretty cool. He did an episode of Star Trek Discovery. He also worked on Once Upon a Time, although I didn't look closely enough to see if he and the writer were linked for that. He's done stuff like Supernatural and The Vampire Diaries and Arrow. So he's got quite a number of big name stuff in his directing credits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then just briefly as featured cast, I decided to make Jim our featured cast.
Okay.
So he's a guy named Aaron Stanford, and his link back to the writer is that he did some work on Nikita, and he also, Chris Hardwick mentioned this, was in the series 12 Monkeys, and apparently had quite a good arc in that. The thing that I kind of recognized him from after I saw it was he was in X-Men Last Stand and X-Men 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played a mutant called Pyro.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And now I'm like, I need to go back and watch those two things in the Marvel Universe, because it's been a long time since I've seen them.
This has to be at least the third time where, like, between this and Preacher, where I'm like, I recognize somebody. I'm like, where do I know them from? And then you and Marnell tell me who, I'm like, oh, that's who that is.
Well, and he looks really different, but if you look close, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm thinking I just really would like to go back and watch those two movies and really look for that character and be like, oh, okay, there's Jimbo.
Yeah, because I mean, he's playing like a teenager in those.
Right.
I don't know how old he actually was, but yeah.
He definitely was playing one of the mutant teens. So, and he was quite a bit younger. I mean, those movies were a while ago now, but. And it's funny, I was looking at his IMDb page, and the intro to his IMDb page is like, he stands poised to be one of the great actors of his generation. And I thought, wow, I wonder if he wrote that. That was kind of a Jimbo move.
or his agent.
Yeah, right. The other thing that was kind of cool about his site is that when I clicked on the little link on IMDb for his official website, it's actually an intro page to his site and his brother's website. His brother David is a musician. So that was pretty cool. In a little nod to Marnell, I looked at his Instagram and it's not very active. I looked at his his Twitter feed, and it was very active over the last few days, but a lot of it was about his role in Fear and Jim's untimely demise in Fear. So quite a bit of tweeting about that.
But not like 87 posts in one day like Tanya Pinkins.
Not like Tanya Pinkins. Oh my God. You heard what I said about Snoop Dogg. He's the same way, man. I had to unfollow him on Instagram because I could not see anything else. It was like treadmill, marijuana, Snoop Dogg, marijuana, treadmill. That's all he posts about.
I'm surprised because I mean he has like game show on TV now, and I think
I have to admit I've watched a couple of episodes of that. How wasted was that time?
yeah, I've seen it like once or twice. Yeah.
But yeah, so Aaron Stanford was the guy who played Jim Brower, which I also thought it was interesting that his last name was Brower, so close to Brewer.
Oh yeah.
He did say in one of his Twitter posts that a friend of his who actually is a brewer confirmed that the recipe that they used is an actual recipe.
Oh.
I forgot what kind of beer he said it was, but it was a type of beer that I had not heard of before.
And what was that name they came up with for the beer afterwards? It's like
Jimbo's Beer Bows.
Oh, he would hate that. Oh, yeah, he would. Let's name it that. Yeah.
And then I loved how Mo Collins on Talking Dead said, yeah, it was kind of a little jab. Well, so I don't have anything else really as far as featured cast goes. I didn't go into the great depth that Marnell usually does, but I just wanted to say that I did enjoy his arc, and I hope that Mo or Sarah does brew his beer along the way.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything else before we head into goods, bads, and uglies?
I don't think so.
So lay your good on me, man.
All right, my good, even though there's like a caveat, but and I know it seems weird and like I don't know, like action movie, action show cliche, but I just love the whole thing with Morgan like jumping down on to the ladder and escaping, that way.
I've got to tell you, even though I didn't really in my heart of hearts think he was going to fall, I totally was like, oh, Morgan.
It's like hanging from one arm,
Totally. I was totally worried about Morgan.
I like that scene, even though I was like, "Oh, come on!" The battery in the truck wasn't working, right. But the battery for that ladder was working.
You're headed right into my bad, but I'm not going to go there quite yet.
I have like 2 or 3 bads, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay, but yeah, no, that was my good. Even though I was like, "Oh, it was." What is this, like a Bruce Willis Die Hard move?
It was totally a Die Hard move, but I loved it, and I got sucked in, even though I knew that the outcome for Morgan was going to be good. There's no way that they would let Morgan die that way. That would be too awful.
Oh no, they kind of gave him some close calls, but I'm like, they really wouldn't kill him off on fear, would they?
Could you imagine,
I don't think so.
Could you imagine killing off a main character by having him jump and being like, oops, didn't make it?
But a character from the character from the main show who crossed over and they killed him off on fear. I mean, just look at the uproar, like when they killed like Glenn and stuff just on the main show. Can you imagine they killed a main character off on this show?
Right. Oh my God! Especially since there are promises that he's going to cross back over. That would be ugly.
Oh yeah.
Well, my good was also relatively small, but that moment when June hears John's voice on the radio and she finds out that they've found him.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was a really great moment. And it was interesting. I watched Talking Dead through finally right before we got on. And for Jenna Elfman to say that was a really hard scene to shoot because of the way it was shot. She had to walk in tandem with the cameraman. It was interesting to me because I thought that she nailed that moment really nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I actually all but went, aw.
Uh-huh. I mean, I'm not like Marnell. My heart is not like a totally ice cold lump in my chest, but it's pretty close. And she got me. She really got me with that. I had a human feeling. Mm-hmm. It kind of hurt.
Yeah. But it's not that. I had a piece of candy for you, but I ate it.
That was so funny. You got to keep up your strength.
Needed that sugar rush.
That's right. That little tiny 15-calorie sugar rush.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me your bads.
All right. First of all, I mean, I like what Morgan was doing, when he tossed that Walker body off the roof to set the car alarm off, but I just thought it just felt too easy. Like he did it on the first attempt.
Oh yeah.
I think they should, to be more realistic, they should have like showed like 2 or 3 attempts, and then maybe he like nailed it on the 3rd attempt or something.
That would have been pretty cool, actually. That would have added to the suspense and would have it would have even added to the distraction, because the walkers would have gotten distracted by the thuds of those other bodies hitting.
Exactly, and I'm like, the first attempt, really?
It's Morgan. I mean, he's just that good.
I guess, but I'm just like a falling, dead body, arms and legs flailing. You wouldn't like throw it off course at all.
I'm right there with you, man. I struggled with the heavy suspension of disbelief required.
Because like even when like Jim threw himself off the roof later, I'm like, okay, well at least he can like kind of
aim.
Like aim himself, before he leaves the roof,
yeah. And tuck arms and legs if he needed to in mid-fall.
Exactly.
What a horrible thought, but...
Streamline himself, yeah.
Right.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. The whole island, the whole flooding thing where Strand and Dory were like, stranded on that little island thing.
But the rig was able to drive right through it.
Yes, thank you. Didn't it seem like the water was like so deep, and you had the gator in there, and then Lisa just drives across.
Did you see on Talking? I'm sure you did, that they had to build like a special little under the water roadway for it. Yeah,
that's probably why it looked like that. But I mean, still, it just from the way it looked like the water wasn't even coming like maybe halfway up those tires. I'm like, they couldn't. I mean, forget the gator, but otherwise, couldn't they have just like walked out of it?
I agree.
Waded out of there?
I agree. They made it look so deep and so treacherous when Dory and Strand were trying to cross, and then it was like, Alicia just drives right through. It
was probably just that road they put in though, just to make sure the van really didn't get stuck, but still.
Which is kind of disappointing when you think about. I guess I just thought SWAT vans were tougher than that.
I know. It didn't seem like she had to like gun it at all. It just like seemed like a smooth drive across. Yeah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump in with my bad and let you finish up the bads, because it sounds like you've got a little bit more. Mine was just, like I said, such heavy suspension of disbelief this episode. So, and I recognize that needing to suspend one's disbelief for the entire zombie apocalypse is present. I understand that. But we had an elevator that was functional because the generators were still good. We had car alarms that were still working. Were those car batteries still okay?
It must have been, I guess. I know, because I think you and Marnell mentioned the elevators last episode. Yeah. But yeah, it's like all the elevators worked. I mean, they said between the body Morgan threw and Jim, at least 2 car alarms. Like, what are the odds that like...
That both
2 car alarms,
Doesn't your car battery have to be working for your car alarm to work?
Oh yeah, I mean something's got to be powering it, yeah.
And we're 3-4 years in now.
And I mean, if one of them worked, okay, but it's like every car they like threw somebody at it worked.
Well, and then how did they get the fire truck there if the battery for the fire truck was dead, but the battery for the ladder was still okay?
Oh, I forget. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if it was just like,
or
was it sitting there, or did they? Oh yeah, did they use the van? Maybe, I don't know.
And can you? I mean, so they were in an ambulance. Is the ambulance actually strong enough and big enough to tow something that big?
I don't know.
I'm kind of feeling like, and I think we may see some of this in season 9 of Walking Dead proper. But I'm kind of feeling like we need to let the cars and the batteries and the gas go. We're kind of at that point in the zombie apocalypse now where we need to recognize that those things are not going to be available to us as resources anymore.
I'm thinking especially with that time jump, because that's kind of what they did in the comics. They did the time jump after war in the comics, and now everything now is like horses,
right? And they're Rick is riding along and using a bat to brain walkers from the back of a horse, not using a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like we need to get to that place, because it really pushed my suspension of disbelief to have all of those things line up and work in this episode.
And then, like, even if all the cars were working, it's like, oh, how much longer can you siphon gas? How much gas is going to be left?
Right.
And it's a good. I mean, yeah, it's still suspension of disbelief. Is it still good? But still, you're gonna run out even if it is good.
Well, and everybody freaked out and shut down the gas stations in the first few days. I mean, we probably ran the gas stations out of gas in the first few days of the zombie apocalypse.
And I mean, look how many vehicles have we had explode this season so far too?
And the truck, no less. That was a lot of gas. Yeah. So that was my bad, was just that I was like, okay, I really love this universe and I'm really loving this series a lot more, and I'm having a hard time.
All right, my last bad, again, suspension of disbelief, but like when Jim throws himself off the roof, he dies, but like even as a walker, wouldn't he have broken some bones? Didn't it seem like Martha's just like, okay, I'm going to pick you up and you're going to walk away? And
I totally figured he would have a lot of stuff shattered. And he even said it. He said something to Morgan like, have you ever seen one of these? I forget how he referred to the walkers, but have you ever seen one of these up and moving around after they've plunged off a
after
building?
They've broken stuff. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if nothing else, he should, he's probably broke at least a leg or both, or maybe did something to his back or something where he probably shouldn't be able to move.
Yeah, there's got to be mechanical stuff that's not working, regardless of the fact that he is now a reanimated corpse. There's got to be like mechanical circuitry or mechanical structures that are not firing anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me, because like the second I saw her like get like writing on his face, I'm like, oh come on, like he's gonna be able to get up even as a walker. Come on.
Well, he is strong now. He's no longer weak.
He doesn't need help anymore.
He doesn't need help anymore. He's strong now.
Oh, that's like that whole thing when Martha came after Alicia, and she's like, we can help you. I don't need help. I'm like, oh, don't say.
You're like, Alicia, let it go. Just shut up. The lady obviously doesn't want any help.
I don't need help, and then she just like passes out.
That was hilarious, and I've got to tell you, I'm kind of getting into rotting potpourri, but I loved that, and it was another moment where I was completely sucked in. I was like, no, she's faking it. Don't go up to her. But that was a great moment. I mean, she took that fall, and she took that fall hard. That was a good piece of acting right there.
She's an actor.
She is. She is a Tony Award-winning actor, or at least a Tony-nominated actor.
Oh, yeah.
So what's your ugly? Was it a good ugly or a bad ugly?
It's a bad ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of knew that, this is the next to last episode of the season. So when they had Martha all tied up, that, this wasn't going to be the end, because, again, next to last episode. But I don't know. Didn't she seem like a little too, I don't know, superhuman to you? That, I mean, a couple episodes back, she was I know she had a gun, but she was holding off our entire group. I mean, this isn't like Negan or the governor who has like an army behind her. She was just by herself, but she's able.
Right. This is a dumpy former English teacher.
Yes, she was a regular person.
Let's be honest.
And she went nuts. Yeah. And now she's able to hold off like our whole group. And then like they had her zip tied in the, it seems like this season zip ties don't hold anybody. They had her zip tied in the, they had her zip tied in the van. And then, of course I knew at the end she was going to escape somehow. Cause again, the next week's the finale. But I'm like, okay, so she's getting out of zip ties. She's holding off our whole crew. I'm like, what is she, a super villain?
Is she going to live through the finale, or is this it? What do you think?
I don't know. I was going to say maybe not, but if they're going to take like part of our cast over to the other show, but leave some of them here, I wonder if the ones that stay here, if they keep her alive, if the ones that stay here like stay to track her down or whatever, so she doesn't hurt anybody else.
Well, and we've still got Al. We still have to account for Al.
True. Yeah.
So maybe part of our, not to distract from your ugly, but maybe part of the separation of the groups is that some of the group stays behind to look for Al.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Although I would think Morgan would get caught up in that.
Yeah, because he's been all like, oh, I can't leave anybody behind and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's weird though, because like they've been wanting to stay together. So
yeah. Yeah, but I agree. She does seem superhuman, and she seems really crafty.
Exactly, and she was a normal woman, and then she goes nuts. So shouldn't that like dial back the reasoning and the plotting ability? And
I have seen people in psychotic episodes, though, who kind of, they talk about people on PCP being superhuman, and I have seen people in psychotic episodes kind of having that superhuman strength.
yeah, okay.
So, it's possible that that may be part of what's going on with her, but in terms of the planning and the craftiness, it's hard to say.
But also, I mean, when she escaped, we already saw her pass out from that gunshot wound or whatever.
Right. And I mean, there's got to be something more going on with that. Like, is there an infection? I don't think she would have passed out from blood loss. I don't think she lost that much blood. It didn't look that deep. Mm-hmm. But
I think you and Marnell mentioned it at whatever was it, last episode or the one before, where she knew how to drive the van. She knew how to shoot the guns on the van
and drive those big trucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where does an English teacher learn how to,
Maybe she worked her way through college driving an 18-wheeler.
Maybe.
I worked my way through college at a record store, but everybody's kind of got their own thing.
But I was gonna say most people know how to play records, but maybe not some of the younger people listening to this.
I guess I should say I worked my way through college at a compact disc store. I think people still might know what those are.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of vinyl every now and then because one of our managers was a DJ, but mostly it was compact discs. So, well, my ugly was really honestly Jim choosing the way that he went out. So talking about, not everybody has that moment of, I don't know, grace, humanitarianism, whatever we want to call it. But I did like it. It was a good ugly that he did choose to ultimately help the whole group, including Morgan, with his death. And it was definitely foreshadowed, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you knew it was coming, but yeah, it was still like a noble death.
So what did he whisper to Sarah about his beer? Any thoughts?
Was
it like a secret ingredient, or did he have a message just for her, or...
Yeah, but I don't know what message he would have just for her. I'm thinking it had something to do with the beer. Or...
He was pretty obsessed with the beer.
Oh, yeah.
That was his reason for being.
That's his legacy.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I mean, just at the end there, him telling her the recipe. It's like, take care of my child.
Well, and I liked what the actor said about him really believing, the character really believing that this was going to be some great foundation block in the new society, in the new civilization. This particular contribution.
Well, I mean, it plays a part in society now, but I mean, especially in a zombie apocalypse where you don't have like other forms of entertainment that like television or movies. I mean, sitting around drinking with people is going to be bigger now in the zombie apocalypse.
Sarah's pub is going to be really popular at Alexandria.
Oh, that's yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It could be like the barter system for drinks because no one has money now.
What will people barter? Some sort of protection, probably.
Or supplies, you know.
Cool stuff for Wendell's wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Antibiotics or zip ties that work.
Handcuffs with a skeleton key. Well, so what do you got in your rotting potpourri? Anything else that you want to add to thoughts about this episode?
I don't think so. Like I said, there were some good parts, but yeah, I had a lot of little nitpicks, which brought my score down a little bit. So
I was kind of bummed out to see John so down, and I think that we might actually be seeing him come back up now that he and June are reconnected.
Oh yeah.
But, seeing him be like, who I was, I might have used all that up. That was a bummer to see kind of our moral compass feel like he was at his end.
Yeah, well, I think he was just down because he couldn't see a way off that piece of land, and he was stuck there with like a
with a drunk.
like a drunk suicidal strand.
Yeah, with a self-absorbed drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny too. They were talking on Talking Dead about how Jimbo and Strand were so similar, but Strand has, kind of become this better person. And I was like, really? I haven't seen it. He still looks pretty self-absorbed to me. He was ready to drink away the apocalypse on a Texas ranch a few episodes ago. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Jim might have been like Strand might have made him like his best friend just because he knows how to brew alcohol.
Right. Well, what else?
Strand might have had some like plan to like sell it or something.
That would be more Strand's angle. Strand is going to be the person who opens up the pub in Alexandria if he makes it to Alexandria.
Yeah. I think that would be interesting. Oh, sorry, I was going to say it would just be interesting if Strand and Alicia made it to Alexandria, I think.
And Al may well be the key to that separation.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that they're going to wrap things up by finding Al at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
There may still be people who are hanging back looking for her.
And unless John Dory and June wanted to like actually decide to stay in that cabin.
I hope not. That would be such a waste of two really fun characters.
Well, I just mean it would keep them here for next season then. Yeah.
No, I think... I don't think that's going to happen only because I think that June really is kind of out in the world finally, and I don't think she's going to let them turn back.
Yeah.
But they're not going to take everybody because they've got to keep Fear going, but there's got to be the crossover to get Morgan back, so it's going to be interesting to see how they figure that out.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think they would do this, but I wouldn't even mind if they all went to Alexandria and then next season they start with like all new people.
They could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the other point we're talking about is, they could focus on somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, or Al could be like, hey, I had this group, I had these tapes, and now I'm starting from scratch.
Exactly.
Maybe Al is the only one left on the on Fear, and everybody else goes to the original series.
Mm-hmm. I think last episode, you and Marnell were talking about, I think Marnell was like, oh, I thought I heard something about Rick having a half brother over in, what was it, Europe or whatever.
Was that actually a thing?
I think it was. I don't think it was in the regular comic series, but I think they had it printed somewhere in some magazine or special somewhere. I think it was like in comic form though. Yeah, I think it was like a one and done story, but yeah.
Interesting. I missed that entirely.
And I don't think it's ever been brought up since. And yeah, like I said, it was just like one quick story. So who knows?
Well, hats off to you and Marnell for finding that, because I was
going to say, so
idea.
Marnell wasn't insane, at least on that.
At least on that one thing.
Yes.
The Ambien in the wine glass did pay off.
I know. Congratulations. She remembered that little, like I said, I think it was just a one-time thing, and she remembered that.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, she's the one who's usually using some sort of substance, and I'm straight, and I didn't remember it, so.
I know. I was going to say, she remembered through that giant wine bucket.
Apparently, she has quite the wine glass to surprise you the next time we all podcast.
Oh.
This is actually, assuming that I can make Google Hangouts work so I can join you.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say we're doing Venom next, but then you have to join us in December for when Marnell and Lilith are drooling over Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Oh, I had a crush on Aquaman when I was a teen too, so I think that I'll definitely have to make that a thing. You'll be outnumbered by all the girls drooling.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I guess the only other thing I really have in my notes, and it's a small thing, but I really loved that Strand dumped his booze on Dory's wound when Dory was whining about, it's going to get infected from being in all that muck.
Oh, yeah.
There were some really funny light moments in this, in spite of kind of the overall heaviness of this episode.
Okay, you would know about this stuff. So I know about, the alcohol would kill like the germs or whatever, but would it still be as clean as if Strand's taking a sip out of it right before he pours it with his mouth on it?
I don't know. I think if it's going to kill the skin germs, it would probably kill the stuff from Strand's mouth too. But
Okay.
I'm totally talking out of my butt here. I don't have any special knowledge that would potentially add to that.
Yeah. That was just like comic relief.
It was good though. Well, that's about all I've got, man.
Yeah. So if they do stick around, do you think like, well, if Morgan leaves, who's the new leader? Is it Alicia? Is it June? Is it?
I think it's Alicia, but I mean that's
Yeah.
assuming that Alicia doesn't end up going.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If she stays, I think that's why they're pointing there. They want to make Alicia the new Madison, but or June. I could see June too.
It's interesting because she, aside from Charlie, she's the youngest in the group, so people would not be naturally inclined to follow her, but she's hard, you know, so people might follow that. I don't know. You know, Dory is a great character, but he's not a particularly strong individual. June is not a particularly strong individual, so I don't see either of them becoming group leaders. I think Strand is, you know, his failing is that he's always got that self-serving thing going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes he seems like he's there for at least like Alicia and well Madison when she was around. But yeah, he very often goes to his, looking out for number one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think if with Morgan going that there's really anybody else who's that strong. Al is kind of off on her own little tangent with her tapes. I mean, that's her number one priority.
Between that van and those tapes, I mean, I talked about it with Marnell last time. It just seemed like she is obsessed.
That was so funny. Time to let the van go. And here it is again.
I think I said, like, yeah, it's like she treats it like it's her lover. It's like,
she does.
I get it. I mean, the van's handy in the apocalypse, but
I don't know. They're all gonna have to find horses.
But it's yeah. And those tapes, it's like once you run out of batteries, you're not gonna be able to play that on anything, those tapes.
Right. I mean, that goes back to more of the heavy suspension of disbelief, right? I mean, how are they going to play those if there's... I mean, what use are they? How are they going to play those? You're right, if there's no battery. Of course, I guess batteries are a relatively easy thing to rig. I mean, the ancient Egyptians had batteries, so...
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Is it just me, or did it seem like a lot of places this season on this show had solar panels?
Now that you mention it...
I mean, they're becoming more popular, but I mean, over in the other show, Alexandria had them. Here, that house where Strand was like drinking his life away had them, didn't it? The truck stop where Morgan meets them for the first time, didn't they have solar panels or something, or generator? They had something, but
I don't know. Like are there more of them in the Southwest? I don't really know. I
don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure either. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of places either had working generators or solar panels this season.
And we're talking about a time frame that's probably 4 years behind us, 4 or 5 years behind us.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So you're not going to see necessarily the spread of solar technology the way that we're seeing it now. I mean, I'm thinking, ironically, we have a little solar farm right down the street from us in little tiny rural Podunk, Alaska, but it just cropped up.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, is it even further back? Because when did the originals?
2010 is when the original series.
So I mean, we could be anywhere between like 4 and 8 years back, and
I mean, I would say we're at least 4 years back.
And how long is that stuff going to last if it's not being kept? If the upkeep isn't there and the maintenance and.
I don't know. I would imagine it's not any longer live than any of the other technology that we're saying we are heavily having to suspend disbelief that it's still working.
Well, I guess we'll see where we'll go, and they, since they have another 10 years of Walking Dead planned.
Right? Can you believe that? I mean, I'm not lying. There is totally part of me that grieves every time I see a trailer for season 9 right now, because I'm like, God, they're gonna kill Rick, and something original is ending, and I just kind of feel like there's this huge loss there. But there's also like 10 more years of The Walking Dead. Can they really sustain it that long?
Can you imagine you and Marnell were here talking like season 18, season 19?
I'm gonna be like, well, I got my walker into the podcast room. And I got sitting down, and now let's podcast. Well, here's to 10 more years.
It's just like, yeah, if you love it, you want to see it go on, but it's like, are they going to milk it too much where it's just like...
Yeah, I mean, it's totally one of those things where, yeah, it grieves me to think of it ending, but at the same time, I want it to go out on a good note.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even watch it anymore, but it's like, and I know it's different because it's animation, but like The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long the Simpsons have been around?
Isn't it like 30 years now?
It's something like that, because I think when it started, me and Bart Simpson were around the same age. Seriously, I mean, if maybe a year or two off, but we were pretty much around the same age, and I'm 40 now, so.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know it's been around for at least 20, and I want to say it's closer to 30.
I know it's 20, at least 20 some, yeah.
Now I gotta look. I gotta Google it while we're still on.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be high 20s, yeah.
You can hear the...
How long?
They actually started on the Tracy Ullman show in 1987. Yes. So 87, that's 31 years. And the series originally started in 89, so almost 30 years. That's crazy.
See? Told you.
Well, so, The Walking Dead, another 10 years? Nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's easier for animation to go on longer, though. Although, I guess the show could go on forever, basically, if they just keep replacing people. Right.
All they have to do is keep rotating new characters in and rotating old characters out.
I mean, I think this week Saturday Night Live is having its 44th season.
Wow.
Premiere. But again, all the original people are gone.
Right. And, I mean, with Maggie leaving, with Rick leaving, there's nobody left from season 1, season 2, except Daryl. Well, and Carol. Daryl and Carol. Yeah. They'll be the originals that are left.
Yeah. I mean, does it make it more realistic that it's like, everyone doesn't survive forever?
Although, I think about them killing Rick, and I kind of hope they take him out in like this totally freak way, this totally one-off way, if they're going to kill him.
Oh, they do something where he like does it to save everybody, or it's going to be a big heroic death. It is.
I hope it's something stupid, like I put my hand down and the walker bit me,
No, I don't think. I think people would riot if they,
No, you're probably right. They're probably going to do something huge.
It has to be something huge. I mean, I just wonder, did you see that one commercial where it's like Negan locked in the cell and he's just like, what did he say? He's like,
you're saving it for me?
Yeah, you weren't rebuilding the world, you were saving it for me or something. I just wonder, with Andrew Lincoln going out, are they going to offer Jeffrey Dean Morgan a buttload of money to stay on?
Well, it sounds like they're certainly doing that with Norman Reedus, but...
Oh, yeah, I think he what's his new deal, $20 million or something?
God, could you imagine? That's just crazy. And does he get another season of Ride? Have you heard whether or not that's going on?
I haven't heard, but I mean...
I can't imagine that they would do anything but everything Norman Reedus wants at this point.
I mean, he was in a good negotiating position. I mean, Andrew Lincoln's leaving, Lauren Cohan is, I'd just be like, hey, and you know how popular the character of Daryl is.
Yeah, still.
Like, hey, do you want to lose another one? Okay.
You better give me Ride in perpetuity.
Well, no, I think it's the $20 million.
Right, that too. 20 million and my little series where I get to go and ride motorcycles anywhere on the planet that I would like with anyone who wants to come and join me. Have you watched any episodes of that? It's actually pretty fun.
I have not. I've seen the commercials. I keep meaning to, but
it's not something that I watch every week that it's on, but I catch an episode here and there, and it's kind of like Anthony Bourdain on motorcycles. It's pretty fun.
I didn't want them to follow Jeffrey Dean Morgan around with a camera. Him and his family live on like, what is it, an alpaca farm?
They have like a little rescue farm.
Yeah, I heard an interview with him. Yeah, and he was talking about the farm, and then was it him and what's his face, the other actor? They own a candy shop. Paul Rudd.
Really?
Yeah.
They have a candy shop?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like in the town where like the farm is or something.
That's
I don't know if
cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it was going out of business or something. So they bought the shop and. Yeah, because I heard an interview. He was on Howard Stern, like, was it sometime in the last year or so? And yeah, he was telling about all the specialized candies they have there and stuff. I forget all what they were, but yeah.
Oh man, now I have to go there. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I think it's up in the northeast.
I think it's
somewhere.
upstate New York. Isn't that where his farm is? Or am I confusing him with oh God, who's the late night talk show host who has a rescue farm also? Colbert got a start on Jon Stewart. God.
Oh yeah.
How can I lose that detail?
I can't remember if it's upstate New York, and it might even be further north. I can't remember, but yeah, something like that.
Well, not to do another comic book spoiler, but spoiler 3, 2, 1. If you're not caught up, it's on you. Negan does have a continued arc in the comic book series, so they certainly could keep Jeffrey Dean Morgan around as long as he's willing to stay around.
Oh yeah, he was in there for a while, and then he kind of went off on his own. And he's not in the books right now, but he's not dead or anything. So
I gotta go back. I gotta get caught up. But yeah, I mean and the other thing that I was thinking, really honestly, is that I do like the characters that they've brought in. Like I care about Aaron. I'm interested in that character. I care about King Ezekiel. I'm interested in that character. So they definitely can keep my interest and keep my viewership by keeping those characters going and by rotating in new characters who I gain as much attachment to.
Mm-hmm. I love the character of Aaron. Not to take us too far off topic, but I saw that he wants to play a Marvel character that I really want them to do either in the movies or on like on Netflix or something.
Not the character that he played already.
Yeah, no, not the Red Skull. No, he wants to play Moon Knight.
Oh, I don't know that character. Who's that character?
Think Batman, but with like multiple personalities.
Oh, fun. So Batman and Joker had a baby.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But he weighs to the side of good. He skews to the side of good.
Yeah.
And what's his name again? Moonlight?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Oh, yeah. Wow. Does he have his own series or...
Yeah. He's had a couple comic book series. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look for those. Those sound fun.
Oh yeah, so at least from the last like starting in 2006 till now. Yeah, they really play up like the different personalities and.
Well, and Ross Marquand with his imitations.
Yes.
He would be the perfect character to do, or the perfect actor to do something like that.
Because he originally was a mercenary, but one of the other personalities is like a billionaire playboy, like Bruce Wayne, and then the other one's like a cab driver. So.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Well, when they rotate Aaron's character out, when he gets famous enough and popular enough that he can write his own ticket and have his series that he wants.
Well, he was in Infinity War, so you think he's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting his foot in the Marvel door. Mm-hmm. No, I definitely think that they have enough. There's certainly sustainability in the characters if they keep investing in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't mean financially. I really do mean investing in character development. But
mm-hmm. So So is this one of those episodes where there's not much to talk about?
So we talk forever.
It goes longer.
Yeah, probably. That's usually the way it goes, right?
I'm just trying to think of stuff Marnell says. I'm trying to be a good film.
You have to say,
you know
but
who
I've
I had a
taken my
giant
sleeping pill already, so.
You know who I had a giant crush on? Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, and who? Remind me who the other person was.
I'm trying to remember. I just listened to it today. Patrick Stewart. I can't remember, but yeah, Patrick Stewart just stood out to me. I was like,
I want to say it was like Patrick Stewart and Mr. Rogers. I mean, it was the weirdest combination of people.
Yeah, it wasn't Mr. Rogers, but yeah.
Oh, I love my little sister. She cracks me up.
Yeah, but like her and Lilith are like kindred spirits.
That is really funny. I'm looking forward to seeing the two of them podcasting together.
I want to get them in the same room and have them drink and podcast.
You and I would be under the table in a short order, and they would be running the show.
Oh, Lilith, outdrank a couple weeks ago. Outdrank, so I guess some like big 250-pound guy like challenged her to a drinking contest in the bar, and she drank him under the table.
Right on, Lilith! Woo!
Hi, Lilith. Don't mean to be spreading your business all over the internet.
You guys just need to come to Alaska.
We should. My wife has relatives up there. I'm not sure what area, but
well, we've got you covered between Southeast and South Central, so
okay. Because I know because they were here a couple weeks ago, and her aunt was like, "Oh, you need to come up to Alaska," and the first thought in my head was like, "Hey, I know people up there."
The Real Housewives.
That's right.
Now we have an extra bedroom. It's always in the offing.
Yeah, but the closer I get to you, I'm gonna like run into that sphere of bad luck.
Right. Oh my God. Did you hear? Did I say on the last podcast that a friend's house burned down?
I don't think so, but I did see. I saw you put that on Facebook.
Oh my God. I feel like our luck rubbed off on them. It's a very bad feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that my bad luck is going away. Not that I'm wishing it on anyone else. That sounded bad.
Yeah. Not on any of my friends, anyway.
Right? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably about it, huh?
I think that's everything I have. I mean, we talked Walking Dead. We talked everything else, too.
And I have a new Marvel character that I have to go look for.
Oh, yeah. Go check out Moon Knight. Oh, it's great.
You know, my problem is that, and here I am keeping us on the air that much longer, but I kind of am split between paper comics and the digital medium. So, like, I'm using certain digital apps to read comic books, but it's not nearly as satisfying as getting a paper comic book.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm biased probably because I started in childhood with paper and everything. But yeah, I love physical copies more.
Mm-hmm. Although I can probably find this character in the apps like Drive Through Comics or.
Oh yeah, anywhere you can find like Marvel digital Marvel stuff. You'll probably find
Okay, I'll have to go look for Moon Knight because that sounds like something that I would really enjoy, and it sounds like something totally different from anything that I'm reading right now. So
I mean, even the current stuff. I mean, the issue came out this week, but like in the last issue, I don't want to give too much away, but like he's like trying to infiltrate this like cult of like psychos, and he basically has to fight a rabies infested dolphin.
That sounds awesome.
Yes, so I'm just yeah. Go look up Moon Knight. You'll be like, yeah, Ross Marquand must play this character.
I am gonna do that. I'm gonna do that tonight. That is gonna be the last thing I read before I take my sleeping pill.
That doesn't sound good. That's the last thing I'm gonna do before I take my sleeping pills.
Well, tomorrow's a big day. You know, more housekeeping kinds of things around. We're trying to get ready for winter.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of stuff to do around the house before winter actually happens.
But why do you have to take sleeping pills? Just drink twice your body weight in alcohol like your sister.
Right? My stomach just isn't that big. That came out wrong too. My sisters kill me. I just can't drink that much alcohol in one sitting. She's got me under the table on that one.
Cast iron stomach or like
Yeah.
a hollow leg or something.
Cast iron stomach, hollow leg, and nurse's bladder. That's her.
See what happens when you take a week off, Marnell?
All right.
Yeah, let's go so you can message Marnell and be like, you have to listen to the next episode when it comes out.
Listen to it before we talk again. Love you, Kay. Bye.
And I'm sorry. Bye.
Oh, well, Phil, it's been a pleasure, even though I didn't see you because we didn't make Google Hangouts work. Thank you for agreeing to come on Skype.
Hey, no problem. And I enjoy podcasting with either one of you.
Well, now you are stuck as the co-host of Last Resort, so it may happen again quite soon.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm the new Marnell. I know.
All right. So, little sister, let's just take it. One dead day at a time. See, you're much better at doing that because you have a system.
And I'm sober.
All right, man. Thank you so much. And Marnell is going to be back next week. We will podcast the last episode of Fear and then launch right into the new season of Walking Dead.
I can't wait to listen.
Thank you very much. And you can find Phil where?
I can find the Capes and Lunatics and the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcasts on all the podcatcher services. And as we mentioned, we're on YouTube. All our stuff's on our YouTube channel, Capes and Lunatics.
Right on. Except this episode because of my janky system.
Well, all of my regular stuff is on there.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.